Welcome back, everybody. My name is Wolfblade. Now, let's go over what we've learned so far. We've learned the interface of LightWave 3D. We learned what points are, we learned what polygons are, we learned how to manipulate them. We learned about layers and why it's important to have each new 3D object in different layers so you can modify them, adjust them, move them, and basically model them to whatever it is you want. But now what I want to talk about is geometry, the geometry of 3D objects like the X, Y, and Z. Like in, well, I was I have to confess I wasn't really good at geometry. But for those of you who are experts at X, Y, and Z, you'll probably be ahead of the game than I am. I'm more of a visual person. Mathematics was never one of my strong suits. But let's get started. Let's get rid of these. Of course, when you press delete, it won't delete here. And if you go to File, you won't see a delete button here. You'd have to go right here, make sure the Create tab is selected. Or actually, it doesn't matter which tab you're at. This part will always remain the same. So, but let's just leave it on Create, just for goodness sake. And the way to delete 3D objects is you go to Edit and you drag down all the way here to Delete. See, there's no shortcut key, otherwise I'd press the shortcut key. So you delete that. And let's delete this one too. Let's start fresh. So like I said, we're going to be talking about adding more polygons and points. And it's best to actually start with something that's already being given to you, like here on the primitives. And let's start with a box, a simple box shape. So we drag this, hold and drag. It doesn't matter how big it is. Really, it's what I want to show you is adding more points in boxes and why that's important. Because you need more points in boxes to manipulate different parts of the box. And then you just click and drag, and there you go. You have a box. Now you don't want to press enter yet, because if you do, then it won't let you access the panoramic I can't pronounce it, panoramic panel. And to do that, you just press N. And see, this brings up the statistics of the cube: height, depth, width, center. But we're not going to be worrying about that. What we're going to be worrying about is adding more segments right here. See, segments is what we really want to focus on. This is on the panoramic panel box tool. So let's go ahead and add some segments. Let's add about 8. See, so it's going on the x-axis. See, so this would be the x-axis, and then y. We'll probably see it going up or down depending. Yep. So let's go ahead and add an equal number of 8 that way, and then the z-axis, as you can see, and we're going to see some coming this way. And there you go. Now, I think we're good with that. So as long as you're happy with the amount of points and polygons there is, then we don't need this anymore. We can just close that out and then press enter. And we have ourselves a cube with a lot of polygons and points. Now, remember what I taught you about using to access your point selection tool. All you have to do is press the space bar, or to access the point tool, press the space bar again. See, this tool, I'm not going to go into too much yet because I myself haven't had that much practice with it. I didn't really need to use it. But let's use our polygon. And let's highlight here, because when you highlight here in the 3D area, it's really hard because it's in a 3D environment, and sometimes it'll go over here. So you want to highlight right here on the top view, back view, or the right view, depending on the selection you want to highlight on, like if it's on the top, right, left. So let's highlight a couple of these polygons right here. So that's good. But look, oh, look what happened. See, it went through. Now, this could pose a problem if you're designing some sort of a building, you know, and you could probably lift the underbottom. Maybe you could get away with it, maybe you can't. But for me, it's kind of annoying. So, and in order to deselect that, all we gotta do is right-click on your mouse, drag, just like in Photoshop when you're selecting something, like with the lasso tool, and boop, it's deselected. So now nothing will get lifted up from here. So say we want to move this, say we want to get this thing going up. So let's move this up a little bit more. So, and remember what I told you, to access your move tool, you press T. And let's lift this up. And here we have a, ooh. See now? You see how it's important to have a lot of polygons so we can access certain parts of the 3D model or 3D object, as it would be. See, in a way, it's starting to look like some sort of a building. See, so now that we're done, if we're done, you know, working with this, all we gotta do now is just press spacebar and deselect this, and voila. And now that that's deselected, you can move this around and nothing else will move because there's nothing selected. Now let's see what we can do. Let's try something different. Let's select the bottom here. Let's see what this does. See, now this I definitely want to go all the way around. So I do want it to affect the other side, and the way you can tell is you can see here on your right view it's being affected too. And in the 3D view, when you rotate it, you can see it's being affected. So let's do something fun. Let's try a different tool. Let's go to Modify tab here, and let's see. We can either drag, snap, tweak, or dragnet, shear, axis, align, rotate, axis, bend, twist, and here's some more options for rotation. Rotation, any axis, rotation, and transform, stretch, size. Here we go. Let's stretch it out. Let's see what that does. There we go. Look at that. Wow, that is cool. Sorry, this is actually my first cool building that I ever did, and usually I'm in a rush to do this kind of stuff, but look at that. Patience and knowledge. Look at that. So that's how, again, that's why it's important to have a lot of polygons and points. So see, now it's starting to look like a building. Nice building. But see, we want it to be taller. And what do we do? We select the bottom parts because we want to stretch that out. So you click and drag. Make sure you're holding the left button down. Don't let go. But if you do happen to let go, let me show you. See, say that happened. See, that's not what you want. That'll come out really weird. See, if you were to move this, see that, well, actually, it's not that bad. Well, that's what would happen. Huh. Look at that. We learned something new. That doesn't look that bad at all. Actually, I'm thinking about leaving it like that. But anyway, my point is, you want to make sure if you make a mistake, you could always go to here, edit, undo. But we like that, so let's redo it. So let's go ahead and redo. That is nice. Look at that. It's already starting to look like a building. So this is why it's important to have a basic knowledge of polygons and points, so you can manipulate these 3D objects that's been given to you with these primitives. So, and one thing you always want to do too is save, because especially on PCs, because they have the tendency of crashing a lot. Macs are a little bit more reliable. Sorry, don't mean to, brag. So that's starting to look nice. So here we have some sort of a building already. And we'll get to coloring on the next one. We'll get to add like a surface. Right now it actually looks pretty good right now. But again, that's what you do to change and select different surfaces, is use the Polygon tool. And if you, like I said, if you want to change one point different, all you gotta do is press the space bar, click that, and T again to move, and boom. There you go. But we don't want that. So join me next time. Thank you and have a great day.